Good morning, everybody. My name is Sean Cardinale, and I'm going to record this vlog for the next 2 weeks to capture the experience of being under self-quarantine. As everyone is aware of, we have this coronavirus crisis going around, and I am volunteering to lock myself down for 14 days to do the prudent thing, to do the healthy thing. I work in an industry where there's hundreds of people interacting every day, all at once, people traveling in and out. And over the last few days, we found out that not only was the company going to do the responsible thing and shut us down and send us home for 2 weeks to find out when we would come back, what the situation would be later, but we also found out that two out of hundreds, but two people might have had contact with folks who were testing positive for the coronavirus. So I am personally asymptomatic. I don't know the results of anyone's exposure, those two folks who we were informed about yesterday, but I am going again to just do the safe thing, safe for me, safe for everybody else, and take this precaution of self-quarantining, and in the meantime, record the experience. The reason why I'm recording this is because this is a really unusual time for all of us. There are different stressors that are going to come up. The media is just, awash with this news. You can see at the stores that people are, just flooding the stores, trying to prepare themselves, and trying to, find their way. I think a lot of us feel a bit rudderless. I don't personally feel panicked, and I'm sorry for the folks who do, but I do admit that this is highly unusual. None of us probably has really lived through this except for a couple of hot spots over the last few decades, around the world. But as far as something that affects us all like this, it's highly unusual. And so I'm just going to record these 14 days. I can't leave my apartment. It's nice and cozy here. But we'll find out as the days progress. Did I stock up on enough toilet paper? Do I have enough almond milk? What's going to go first? What's going to happen? And I just am going to share my experience. There'll be sort of a psychological component to these shares, an emotional one. Maybe we'll get into some spirituality. We'll definitely talk at some point about, there are some political elements to this, and I'm not going to judge. I'm going to try my best not to judge anything I'm hearing or reading out there, but I am very opinionated, so I will share those opinions, as I see fit. What the plan was for these next 2 weeks actually was I was going to go hang with my kids. I have two teenagers, a 14-year-old and a 13-year-old, and I was just going to, binge Disney Plus and Netflix with them and catch up on comic books reading. We're all a bunch of geeks, and listen to them play piano or practice their dance or their bass guitar, and again read. Crack some books. We do live, however, in a split household. I'm divorced from their mom. It's a happy divorce. That divorce and some other topics are things I've blogged about on other sites. And I've even done some coaching, some relationship coaching. And so because my kids live apart from me, and because obviously I found out that I may have had some contact with someone who may have had contact with someone who has the virus, this situation is, again, unprecedented. I can't go hang out. None of us is really going out and being social. You can't go to church, not going to movies, staying away from restaurants. And for me in particular, I can't go hang with the kids and just sort of hunker down with them. I'm going to sort of, we've agreed, their mom, stepdad, and me, to just hold tight and wait out this 2 week period as all of the responsible healthcare providers and bureaucrats and politicians have told us to do. So that, in short, is what I'm sitting here for, sort of, and talking to you. I hope to get some feedback from folks out there, share your experiences, air your concerns. Maybe this will turn into a dialogue. I have no idea. I'm just kind of winging it, and I do have a little script in front of me here, but otherwise, I'm just winging it because we'll find out daily what we'll find out, what I'll find out here in my little cozy apartment. So I did start my first full 24-hour quarantine this morning. I had to cheat this morning a little bit. So got the news yesterday, Friday the 13th. Ironic, not? I don't know. But this morning I did realize I had some necessities I did have to get. I did actually have to go get toilet paper, and that's not because I was doing the run on toilet paper like so many folks are doing. I legit was like running out, had like a couple rolls left, and then realized I'm going to be here for 2 weeks. So I grabbed a couple things like that, a couple other food items. I stayed away from the crowds of folks. I did have an interesting experience going this morning because yesterday when I was out and about trying to find some of these necessities, like I say, in some of these groceries, at one place, finally, the manager was like, no, we don't have toilet paper, but we will bring it in 8 a.m. first thing. So sure enough, I showed up at the store before 8, and there were already, 20, 30 people sort of huddled around the doors of the store. I stayed back away from everybody. I didn't want to be in close quarters with anybody, and I grabbed my toilet paper and other things without interacting or getting too close to anybody, and made my way out, self-checked out. I do have to share that the manager of the store, same guy from the night before, who was like, yeah, hey, come back at 8 a.m. tomorrow, really handled it well. Really was self-possessed. And his little speech before the doors opened right at 8 was something out of like a convention kickoff or a workshop or, a retreat or something. So he was handling it wonderfully, and I think sort of eased tensions and also reminded people to be good to one another and not, stampede over one another and really be prudent. I think that's a word I'm going to be using over and over again these next 2 weeks. So he was just saying, be careful, be kind to one another, don't stampede, don't take 18 boxes of toilet paper or tissue, whatever, take what you need so that others can too. And I think I'll end on that note because I think that's a great note to end on. Hopefully we can all be responsible, do what we need to do, take care of ourselves and our families while we're in this, again, unusual and frightening and surreal experience. And we'll see what happens, on the other side of all this. So to wrap up, again, my name is Sean, writer, blogger, former life coach, and just here to share this experience. Again, something that the people said when they were, my employers were sharing with us when they informed us we were going to shut down was hopefully in these scenarios, we can find our better selves. In a frightening scenario where we all feel sort of pulled apart and competing for toilet paper and whatnot in goods and stores, hopefully we can come together over them. We have done it before in the past, and we can do it again now, and I believe that too. And so again, this blog is just a little way of sharing my experience, and feel free to share yours. To wrap up again, I'm asymptomatic. I feel fine, but you don't know, and you've got to take precautions given these extraordinary circumstances. So I'll check in tomorrow, and I'll be sharing, 13 more times beyond this. And thanks for hearing me. Again, I'm Sean. Take care.